I'm so glad my parents moved me here. My dad was from Cape Breton, my mother was from Southern Alberta. And I used to go back to both those provinces as a young boy every summer to hang with my grandparents. But it was no accident my parents chose multicultural Montreal, because they wanted to give us something they didn't have, which one was getting a second language. And we moved here in 1970 during the October crisis of all things, and my dad put us into a French Catholic school. And I remember going in, and there was a huge crucifix on the facade of the building, and the directrice was a nun, and my sister and I were sitting on either side of my dad, and I just remember her saying, even at a young age, grade 2, however old you are in grade 2, the woman saying, "But Mr. MacLeod, you can send your kids to English school, And he says, "No, I want my kids to have the French language. The French language is the portal into the culture. Without the language, they don't have the culture." So right at the onset, having 2 languages enabled me to, shimmy back and forth, have a foot in both worlds, as it were. And that really helped in the art scene, in the music scene, and that's something that Montreal had that no other city had in North America, to my knowledge. There's Latinos in LA that have both languages in that capacity, but as Canadians, this is a very unique thing. And I find it funny, like Montrealers argue over 2 languages, but most people I grew up with spoke 3, 4, 5 languages. So it's kind of a unique paradigm, an ancient one that goes back. Being part of this city is, I love representing that part of my cultural mosaic, my Scottish-Irish, and speaking these 2 languages as my passport to outside of Montreal. That was one thing I noticed when I traveled for art residencies, exhibitions, what have you. And I was in Italy, I knew what gnocchi was, I had had prosciutto. I knew a good wine. We went to Spain, oh, that's paella, and in the pubs in Ireland, I'd frequent enough pubs here to know what a good pint of Guinness was, and if there's no head on it, it's not worth drinking. These are little nuances that we take with us as Montrealers, that we have this passport that enables us to at least have a segue or an entrance into a conversation. I think as human beings, we're looking for what connects us, what are our common elements, and Montrealers can consider themselves very fortunate to, if you were open to it, that you had this passport. And I'm very proud to have had that passport and still have that passport and carry it with me.